So Colby and I are kind of newbies to all of this, peeling back the sod, and we're kind of switching off on shoveling, although he did most of this bed. And so when we peel back the sod and someone else digs, we dig like a trench that's pretty deep, like maybe 1 foot to 2 feet, and we fill it back in with dirt and just churning the soil, and then we mix in some compost, and well, that's what we read anyway. Hopefully it works.
So today is a really nice day out. We have our first day of no rain in a little while, May 2nd. And Ari and I decided it would be a good day to get back to work on our garden. This is maybe day 4 of this project. Double digging is a good way to turn over the soil. You kind of make it so it's not so compact, and things will grow better in it. All you need is a shovel, which is why we chose it.
Now I'm just raking the area to kind of make a mound and make sure there's no divots in the ends that make a well, so the rainwater doesn't get caught, or water. And then after that, we'll spread some compost. I bet even just a little bit of compost goes a long way. Moving your body and being physical brings something on, a happiness. It's the satisfaction of doing the work that you've done and creating something.
Building this whole house every day after that, I might feel extremely frustrated, but I never felt like I squandered a day. I never felt like, you know,
what did I do with my life today?
what did I do with my life? Yeah, those...
Well, I built a house.
Those bigger existential questions of like, what does life mean for me? Which I know a lot of people are dealing with right now during COVID and like quarantining and staying home for months on end, it seems like.
You have to reinvent how you're living.
Yeah, and questioning like, well, what is my purpose if I don't have a job to go to anymore?
You can use a garden to benefit yourself. You can use a garden to benefit your family, but you can also use it to bring together a community. Taking the time to sit right now, and maybe COVID is a good thing for at least this aspect of what it's bringing about, is people sitting and reinventing their lives and maybe asking the question again, like, what do I really want to do with this life?
I just realized at some point in my early 20s that I did not spend enough time actually doing things outside and with my body, and I felt like I was missing out on something. I felt unfulfilled.
At least in the US, we know that depression and suicide are on the rise. Maybe we're seeing some connections here with apartment life, not being able to go outside and see green all the time. You have to kind of seek it out. Instead of just being in it all the time.
You know, even one full day on a computer,
it
I
hurts.
feel like garbage by the end of the day.
Oh yeah, it hurts.
Every time I've lived in apartments, whether it was in California, Portland, Maine, in Keene, New Hampshire, every time I always feel like I'm trapped indoors. Going for a walk into like a village green space, like driving in an hour to go hike a hill or something, or a mountain, just never really felt like what I was looking for. I wanted accessible, green activity, outside, working up a sweat, doing that whole thing. And like working towards something. So I think that's one reason I especially like having a garden, because it's this big like activity that's outside that constantly needs work. I know my lived experience today has been a lot of mental work and digital work, more so than physical work. And the longer that I've kind of come into adulthood, the more I've realized I need to have that reason to be outside and working up a sweat. And so that's a lot of what this whole experiment with building the tiny house, living out in the woods in a really rural area, was about having constant reasons to be outside, like actually working. So after 5 days of work, we have finally finished our garden. At least the sculpting of the landscape around it and the garden beds. We still have yet to plant maybe 3/4 of our rows.
Right, because in Vermont where we live, planting season isn't really until the end of May, when you know the frost season is done.
Our frost-resistant crops are already growing outside, and they've got a good start on the season.
What do we have?
So we've got red and white onions. We have carrots, beets, lettuce, and kale.
6. And we'll definitely keep you updated as the garden continues and different ways that we keep it up. Because that was a lot of effort to let go to waste. So we must tend to our garden.
Right.
So thanks for listening in, and if you want to know anything more about how we tend to our garden or what we did specifically, feel free to post it in the comments.
We really appreciate all the comments and the questions you guys have been giving us in the YouTube channel and on our Facebook.
And we're trying to put notes together and think of an episode based on the questions and comments you guys have.
The only problem is we've been waiting for a rainy day to do something like that.
I know, we just need a rainy day to sit down and really hash it out.
I know, but it's just been too lovely to sit
It's
inside.
been too beautiful.
So,
We're grateful.
very grateful.
Right, and it's too nice outside now, so we gotta go.
Okay.